Hello and welcome back to Sense&Rants. It is your girl Mutarayo Adeola. On today's episode, we're talking about the privileges of having different passports. We're talking about traveling. I'm joined by my Nigerian friend, my Canadian friend, of course. You have me, my American self. Let's see how it goes. So guys, welcome and thank you for coming on Sense&Rants. Would you please introduce yourself, what you do, and then we'll get right back into the topic.
Okay, I'll let Colin start.
I'm not going to let you start.
I know what you're going to say that.
Gentlemen, fight over.
Anyway, yeah, my name is Colin Udor. I'm a professional writer. I write for myself mostly, also for ESPN. And I'm also a professional waka waka, so you might call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of traveling, some for work, some for vacation, pleasure, and unlike most of mine is for work. While she does a lot of hawaka for pleasure, mine is mostly for work.
I want to get to that level. Don't worry. From my mouth to the ears of God, come through 2021. George.
Hello, everybody. My name is George. My last name is Eno, which that's the American way of saying it, but it's Eno.
Eno.
Yes. So yeah, I'm a student, actually. I'm also working. I am doing my master's in human resources management, which I am currently wrapping up. So I work for a students' union at the university that I school at. So I also work in corrections, and I love to travel. I mean, like I would see myself as a really a traveler and a professional schooler as well, because people say I like to go to school, and I'm like, okay.
I was actually going to ask you, do you think you're going to do a PhD someday, or?
See, that's the question that I am finalizing before September, because the option is open, and I'm like, and COVID is still on, so like,
yeah.
It's now is the best time to keep going to school. So
true, because there's no distraction anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can do it from home as well.
Yes. You can do it from home.
Yeah, I don't like online classes. So, if you were to pick a place when the world opens back up, where would it like to go to first?
I'll say Australia, so I can do New Zealand as well, and just live there for a bit.
Just live there, okay.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm torn between. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is to visit as many of the ancient and modern wonders of the world as possible.
Yeah.
And I've done quite a few of them. I've done the pyramids. I've done the Great Wall. I've done the Acropolis in Greece. So I think I've done like 5 of those wonders. Mm-hmm. So now where I'd like to go to Taj Mahal. Yeah. So India would be one of those, and that's exactly another reason why I want to go to Mexico, because I want to go to the Azteca. And so yeah, anywhere that has one of those ancient or modern wonders is where I'd like to go next. So India is one of them.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, India is one, Mexico is another one, Italy, so I can get to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So yeah.
I was in Italy the night COVID broke out.
Oh, wow.
I was literally in the festival of the dead, the resurrection, whatever that was. I was in there partying the night it broke out. And I left a couple hours before they closed down the airport. So I have trauma from almost getting locked down in a different country.
Wow.
It almost happened to me before the US lockdown, because I was in Nigeria just before the lockdown, and like I knew it was getting serious, but I didn't think that they were shutting down airports. Mm-hmm. So and then all of a sudden there was a rush, just to get up, and thankfully my flight date was I think set for just before that. So I got into the US a day before
the lockdown.
That's funny. Everyone's talking about where you are. I was actually in Chicago the week before Canada locked its borders to the States. So I came back, and 2 weeks after it just closed.
It was gone. Wow.
It's done.
I can't imagine getting stuck in a different place new people when you were only supposed to be there for a week and then you end up being there for months, literally.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
your bank account isn't set up to handle.
Right now, if you're traveling to Rwanda, you're going to spend $5,000 just on quarantine alone. Like,
why
yeah.
is that?
Well, because you're going to have to go into mandatory government quarantine, and that is going to cost you for 2 weeks, and that's going to cost you about $5,000 because at your own expense.
Rwanda can't wait.
I know. I'm like,
Rwanda can like to wait. I mean, I love the country, but Rwanda can wait. I mean, for me, where I want to go, I want to, if the world opens right now, I want to do Jamaica, but ideally, I want to see the waterfall in Zimbabwe and Zambia, like see it from both ends. I know it's just really beautiful. Yeah, they call it, is it the smoke, the something that smokes, or the smokes that thunder, or something like that. But yeah, I've always wanted to see, but from both sides. Okay, so do you like to travel with people, or do you like to travel alone? I've never traveled with people. It's not that I can travel and meet people there, or like just make friends, but I've never gotten on a flight with people like, let's go and travel together. Never.
See, I'm actually mixed about it because me and my best friend, we do a trip every year. And so far, because of COVID, we haven't done one this year. We did one last year. We went to Washington, D.C. and Richmond. But in that sense, I would rather travel by myself because that way I'm forced to make friends and meet people. But when I travel with people, I'd like to have some sort of understanding that everyone is on the same page based on the fact that maybe some days we might not want to all do the same thing. So we have that flexibility to go and branch off and do our own things. But then we also started to think about like safety and stuff. So we still also have that collective stuff we get to do at night, which it works. So like when I travel, I'm not a lot of sightseer. I'm more of like, I am more of like a nightlife, social life, and like making friends, meeting people, going to the beach and just chilling. So I'm more of like a relaxer. So like I don't want to like go out and be walking around. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not that. I'm not a doer. So which makes traveling would be really, really hard.
I love to see the sights. Look, I don't. There's no point. For me, I don't know. There's no point in traveling if you're not going to see all of that stuff. Like,
no, I still see. Like I went to Barcelona and I was like marveling in architecture and stuff. Like I still see it in that sense, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like hike up a mountain to go see a certain thing or like do something that is really, really stressful in my mind.
Look, I will do. Look, I think when I travel, my hotel bill is wasted. Maybe somebody can actually invent something, maybe an Airbnb kind of thing where you only come and sleep at night and then take off again. Because, like, the only time I spend at the hotel when I travel is mostly when I have to sleep or I have to work. Otherwise, the rest of the time I'm out there.
Yeah, me too.
So, which is the entire point of traveling. Look, in Greece, I had this cab driver, a lady, and this was way before Uber. This was like in 2004. So it was the first time I was seeing a lady driving a cab, and we had tons of, like, she showed me places, took me here, took me there, and showed me some shortcuts to get, because there was this village called Eritrea from where you move. Now, if you go by a road, it takes you about an hour or two to get from there to Athens. But if you go by the ferry, it takes you like 15 minutes because the ferry just goes up. I had no idea. So she was like, why are you spending all this money going here? This is what you can do. So, the ferry is fun, So you get to see all of this lovely stuff. Oh, and by the way, I was in Jamaica, like 3 years ago, went to Montego Bay, Jamaica, and oh my goodness.
Let's keep it going. Don't drag me down. I'm ready to just like be gone. Oh my God.
And speaking of where I'd like to go, I forgot this. Cape Verde, those Cape Verde Islands. In fact, I think I'm actually going there this year. I saw the pictures of that. Look, I've been seeing it, but I finally saw the video and I was like, I've got to go.
I'm only 100 pounds. Trust me, I'll qualify for your bag. Your check. Take me with you.
Oh my goodness.
What about you, George? Did you say where you were trying to go?
Right now, I really, really want to go and do a tour of South America.
Okay.
Like, I really, really want to go to Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, just do like a whole, the all of South America and
Mm-hmm.
just spend maybe like 2 solid months living there in the rainforest and just doing that life and
Like,
just eating the food and socializing. And there's one thing that I'm naturally on now because like each place I travel to, I want to like try all the local beers and the something that is unique to that place.
Does,
And
yeah.
I've been on that mission now so far,
Okay,
and
cool.
it's really good. The food, I'm a big foodie. Like night food, street
I'm a food
food.
love. I'm a
Ah,
food love.
like I will try everything.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like I don't like snakes. Even if you're grilling snakes or selling the thing, I as long as
What do you mean you don't like
put the
snakes?
hot
Why would
sauce.
you want to eat snakes?
Okay.
It's
So,
just
so,
like
so I draw the line at snakes, but
ah,
I look, like I said, I'm a food lump, so I eat
yeah,
almost and everything. Look, when I was
yeah.
in Beijing, they made me the Beijing duck, and I don't know the pictures on my Instagram somewhere, on my
Yeah,
Facebook.
I find it.
Yeah,
With
with
the neck.
the scorpions and things. They had
Yeah.
like little scorpions.
Uh,
Yeah, you can
It
punch
was
it.
actually terrible.
So you
I
saw
would
that,
try
right?
it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you
I would
should.
try it. I would
Mm,
definitely try it, but
so
I'll be
it was
crying on
nice
the
and
inside while
crunchy
I'm
and
eating
stuff.
it.
And then I tried the frog legs, and the frog legs were great. Like it tastes like chicken,
Yes,
So I
yes, and
love those frog legs. So yeah, there's just so much. I think the one place where I didn't enjoy the food was Ethiopia. There was this bland
It's
taste
bland. Yeah.
about the food. Yeah, it's really bland. So I was like,
mm,
I mean,
That's
I tried
mostly
it.
the food in East Africa is mostly tomato, lots and lots of tomatoes, lentils, um, and then curry. But
Like
like
in
yeah.
the flavor isn't really there. Like this
exactly.
cook beans and tomatoes. I'm like, why?
Uh,
Why would
and
you?
it's the same people that will come and start jollof rice wars with Nigeria,
No,
which
those
it's
are
the
different.
same way.
McDonald's.
By
It's
the
the
way,
same way.
I was going to say something, George. This thing,
Yes.
you see, when you talk about, oh, you want to go South America, travel, stay there for a month, you see, this is how we know you're not carrying a green passport. Because no self-respecting Nigeria will say, oh, I want to go on a tour and just go here and stay there and do this. Look, we are too busy, suffer ahead to think about all of that
Please for
stuff.
the next
The funny thing about traveling is I feel like when you travel,
week.
you get to soul search a lot. You get to find new perspective on things, on yourself as a person, your relationship with yourself and also with nature around you. And you also get this new enlightenment about stuff
Stuff,
that
yeah.
is going on about around you, and it just puts things into perspective. And yeah, before I became Canadian, like I was always traveling with my green passport, which was kind of like cheating because in that sense I got in and out of places and I was just like questionable. My only really really questionable travel experience, I'm not sure if you're going to come down to that as a point of discussion,
No,
but
go ahead.
okay, was when I went to Costa Rica and I stayed for a month and 2 weeks. I didn't know anything about Spanish. I got bored at work and I got bad news at work and I was just like, okay, fuck this. I'm just pardon my
No,
language.
go
I'm gonna like elope and go away. Booked it
Yeah.
that night. 2 days after I was on a plane heading to Costa Rica for a month. And then I stayed there and I kept extending my return trip. So I was like, oh, Panama is just right around the corner. Let me go to Panama. So I went to Panama and I'm like at immigration. So when the bus takes you to the immigration place, you have to come down
Mhm.
and cross on foot,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, and then the bus will wait for you on the other side.
And then you get back on.
Yes. So this
Okay.
is not like the same bus. This is a different bus because there's no like real road crossing through in a sense. So we got to immigration. Everybody that was with me, all these foreigners and all that we met, they all like breeze through. Mountain comes around. There's like, show me this, show me that, show me this, show me that. It's like, well, I'm not sure you're going to come back out of Panama. I was like, really?
What?
Like, this is my return trip. I'm coming back into Costa Rica to fly out. So like, I was really, really taken aback. Like, I'm just like, this is all my fellow Black people. Like, I saw plantain trees all around the thing. There's plantain trees all around here, like plantations and stuff. Like I felt like I was in a part of
Back
Nigeria
in
that's I was like,
ticket.
yeah. So like I was really, really drawn back. I was like, of all these places, I've been to Switzerland, I've been to Germany, Austria, all these places. I've been to
I did
different
not say
parts of the
that.
US, nothing.
Yeah.
But then it's Panama that is, you know, so it kind of made me like sit and think about like the privilege that I've had. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I guess sometimes it's not just like you hear about all these stories and you don't really, it doesn't really
Yeah.
enter into you until you
Yeah,
actually
until you
experience
experience.
it. And I was just like, okay, I had to go back into Costa Rica and print out my bank statement at a sketchy cafe shop, which the guy was just hovering around me as I was navigating my online banking,
Wow.
and bring it back and show it to them that I had more than enough money to come back. And I
Mhm.
was like, you've seen my flight, you've seen the cash I had, you've seen my cards.
Mhm.
So I'm only spending 5 days. So what exactly do you want? You know, I had enough money for 5 days,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but they just
Yeah,
wanted me to go back and print it.
that's the thing about carrying the green passport. You go through so many hoops just to get to get into countries. So, but the
Mm,
thing is, I mean, you can't really blame them. A lot of our people have muddied those and muddied those waters.
yes.
So, and trust me,
Yes.
look, I've seen a lot of people who you look at them and you think, okay, how the heck did this person get here?
Mhm.
You know?
Mm,
So because it's either they got a visa one way or the other, and then well, as soon as they got there, they were like, okay, I'm never going back, or they took through those routes that. And trust me, I've got stories. When I was younger, we had this. I don't know if Mashona has time for this, but
No,
when I
no,
was
go
younger,
ahead. Go ahead, please.
and we're all in Port Harcourt, and we all used to fantasize about living in Nigeria. And Nigeria wasn't even as bad as it was then,
Yeah.
as it is now. So we all used to fantasize about how we're going to leave Nigeria, do this and do that. And this one guy, he said, look, that what he's going to do when he travels, that as soon as he lands where he's going and he
Mhm.
gets to wherever his house is or hotel is, the first thing he's going to do, he's going to wrap his passport in plastic, find somewhere and bury it or even burn it, and then pretend to be dumb and deaf and dumb so that they can't even identify his accent for the rest of his life. So,
Wow.
so now, even if you want to deport him, you don't know
you
where
don't
he's
know where
Wait,
he's from.
bottom two.
exactly because he
But
doesn't have a
they already have his fingerprints.
no, no,
So
but that was
That was years
pre-biometric.
ago.
oh,
That was pre-biometric when you didn't have so
okay.
so and
Colin is
and
old, okay?
oh yeah, yeah. So this guy was like, I mean, like he was the one person. He comes up with these crazy ideas, and he said, look, once he goes there, either burns the passport or digs it and hides it somewhere, and then he goes deaf mute, and then by the time they realize what's going on, they've already integrated him, and there's no way you can deport him to.
Two.
So, which was so, and here's the funny thing: of all of us who were there at the time, I mean, we were young, we were crazy. Everybody has immigration except him.
Oh,
So he's the
the
only
universe had
one.
a way of messing with
He's the
people.
only one
Wow.
who has not who has still not like which is crazy because I mean like he's the one who had all the pen pals. He was doing this and doing that and stuff,
Mm,
and he's the one who's still there and didn't leave. So it just happens like that. And part of the reason because look, I could have moved a long time ago, but I really didn't bother because I thought what's the point. So one of the major things that makes me want to say, okay, look, let me do this is the time you spend at embassies. One, it's inconveniencing, it's expensive,
yes.
and it's just totally crazily balderdash. And I'll
Yeah.
give you an example. Um, I was trying to get to the UK a couple of years ago. I had a client who needed us to go to the UK for something, and it was kind of urgent. We had to go there. We had like a week to get to leave, and we now have to go get a UK visa. Now, usually it takes you a couple of weeks or so to get it, but they had this expedited one where you can get it within 5 days. So we did everything, put all the documents together, pay the extra fees, went early, you had to go there early in the morning to go and do your
Right.
biometric submit and do all of that stuff. So you can imagine me leaving all the way from where I was driving early in the morning, leaving at 5 a.m. just to get to that place at before 8. And then did everything, paid the fees, did that. visa didn't come out until 2 weeks after we were supposed to leave. So business gone, money gone. I mean,
They
like
didn't.
I'm telling you,
They
I
didn't
lost.
even give you guys a
No.
refund
Like,
for.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it took. I mean, because we were supposed to leave that weekend. It was supposed to be like a weekend trip. Just go do this thing quickly and come back and make some money.
Mm,
And so, but visa didn't come out. Lost money, plus the money we paid for the visas, plus everything,
You
and it
lost
was
opportunity too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now here's the thing. A couple of months later, I think that was I was trying to get to. I was while I was here. I now went to get applied for a UK visa because I needed to get to the UK for something. So this time I didn't have to go anywhere. All I had to do was stay here, fill the form online, do everything, send it in, and then just go to a nearby USCIS office for the biometrics. And between the day I filled the form, mailed the passport out, and it got it back 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
People doing it here as opposed to doing it in Nigeria. So
mm,
imagine how crazy that is. So I mean, it just makes it easier when you have. I mean, before we went on record, you were doing this list of countries and passports index, and when you have a Scandinavian passport, German passport, all of this, it's easy because all you have to just get up and move. You
Yeah.
know, and then
yeah.
even the US passport, all you have to do is get up and move. But
Yeah.
with this thing,
Yeah.
Mm,
because if you have this is easy.
Yeah.
Or you just get up and get on the plane.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if you got this, you have to
You have to think
plan.
about it.
Exactly. You have to start thinking about planning your trip in
Oh, you have to.
weeks in advance and all of that. And trust me, that's one of the most inconveniencing things.
Somebody was actually well, I have an aunt who now lives in Canada. Funny enough, Saskatchewan. But she said our kids are the most expensive thing she's ever had to pay for because they were born in Canada and in the US. So as soon as she got pregnant, she was on the next available flight out of Nigeria because she was just so frustrated with the fact that I think what she was doing at the time, right? She wasn't able to travel for work. Like, she would get opportunities like, oh yeah, but they were always like 1 week or 2 weeks notice. And as a Nigerian, you needed it 3 months ahead of time to plan.
Yeah.
So she was buying her children opportunity in the future from countries that gave citizenship at birth. And she was like, yep, my kids are the most expensive $50,000 thing I'd ever to pay for at once. But
Yeah.
it is what
It's
it
gonna
is.
pay off.
Yeah.
That's like an
Exactly.
investment right there.
It's an investment. I was like, investment. She was like, my sister, you might not see it, but to her, it just was, yeah. And it's actually a thing now. At least this past couple of years, when Nigerians like come abroad, have their kids and go home, just to afford them the opportunity in the next 16, 17 years when it comes to college or relocation, or at least giving them options. They said,
Yes.
yeah.
So they can be like George and decide to do on Nigerian things like going on a travel tour.
The funny thing is, I feel like the thing with this passport situation is also there's also some sort of bias that happens with this passport situation, because like going from this to this, it's not like it was like straightforward, or like there's been a lot of ups and downs about it, because like I'm talking about Traya, you already know the details of all this stuff, but I'm not even going to go into details. But what I'm trying to say, the bias is because you can't like just single one particular country out for fraud and like misrepresentation and like stuff like that, because like there's a lot of stuff that goes on with the Nigerian situation, and like people applying for visas trying to be fraudulent. It's also the same thing that happens when some Chinese people apply for it too. Some Polish people too, when they're applying for US visas, some Germans, some like all over the world. It's the same thing everywhere. So when you decide to, make it more convenient for a certain set of people that live in a certain part of the world to get a visa to go to a particular country, and you make it harder for some people, it becomes like, okay, are you trying to restrict the movement of these people in these places because they're not good enough for your country? Because look at the US Embassy now. If you go on their webpage right now to book an appointment for a visa from Nigeria, I'm not even sure you're going to get any date this year.
No, I think the earliest you can get is January.
Next year,
January next year.
2022?
Yeah, next year. Yeah,
Are
because
you
I have a friend.
serious?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
friend who, if I were just talking, I think that was last week. He's a U.S. citizen, but his wife is not. So he was trying to get her a visa so they could come down here. I think they were supposed to actually have left this weekend. So while he was booking the appointment, the earliest date he found for an appointment was January, and that's what we're talking about. So now
Yeah.
he had to find a way. So now you have, and the funny thing is, you have these agents. How they do it, I don't know. Who they can get. So what he now did, he had to pay, I think, almost 150 grand, to have an appointment. And so they now got him an appointment, which is crazy. But if you're doing it on a normal basis, it's, you can't get an appointment right now. The earliest you can get an appointment is January.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then you have people like from Poland that, for instance, that go into the States and don't come out. And they take advantage of the fact that they don't even need a visa, right? So it's just, you understand it, like, because even Canada, which I hate to say this about Canada, because Canada is one of those countries that are on the front line of like humanitarian work and all that stuff. But their visa situation is really, really bad, because if you check processing times for specific countries, they are really, really long. Like a study visa to just go in and study, it could take you as long as 8 months to 1 year. And it's not even processed.
3 months, right?
It used to be like it used to be three weeks. And it's not even processed in Nigeria anymore. It's processed in Accra, Ghana.
Yeah.
Immigration visas for Canada are not processed in Nigeria for Nigerians.
For Nigerians?
Yes, it is processed in Ghana, because number one, there's a lot of fraud going on in Nigeria. There's a lot of misrepresentation. And I'm like, you cannot just put out, and this is the largest country in Africa, than the largest number of people seeking for visas from Africa. So why is it that if China, which has more people, is able to process stuff quickly and faster within China, why is it that ours is any different? Like, why are we any different? These stuff happens. Like, people always lie and cheat and steal and stuff like that. So like, it's something that
goes down to the government, though. Like, the government also they have some power, but they don't use it for the betterment of the people. They're just,
the Nigerian government.
Yeah.
Totally. Because
there's some reciprocity thing going on, but which is, I mean, if you're charging, I think it's only when it comes to the visa fees. I don't know about other things.
Yeah.
If you're charging us $100 for visa, we'll also charge your citizens $100 for visa. So, like the US charges $160. So Nigeria also charges US citizens $160. The UK charges about $1,000, depending on how many years or how many months you want. So it's the same thing. But that Canada thing. In fact, I remember in 2000, was it 2011? I'm trying to remember when exactly now. When the Women's World Cup was held in Canada, I think it was 2011, and we were trying to go, and I applied for a visa, and like, this was supposed, because you had this. First of all, they said it's going to take like 3 months. And I'm like, 3 freaking months? Why? Why are you taking 3 months to process a visa?
Visa.
So we now had the whole FIFA thing coming and say, okay, look, they can do expedited processing and this and that and that and that. So bring all of these documents. We did everything and brought them in, and tournament started, no visa. Tournament got midway through, no visa. Tournament was like maybe a few days from. You know what? I just went back to them and say, you know what? I don't want anymore. I want my passport.
Give me my passport.
I'm not ready. I don't need it anymore. I mean, what's the point? It was just crazy. Like you ask, what is it? I mean, you've done everything that needs to be done. You've told them you're going to have this thing expedited. They agreed, and then, but I mean, like, why does it take 3 months to process a visa?
Yeah, and then the refusal rates too. They're so high for Nigerians. Like, don't even get me started with the refusal rates. Like, people are getting denied study permits and like visitors permits because you don't have strong ties back to your ties. Something like they give you some sort of really stupid reason, and you're just like, number one, you showed that you have a job in Nigeria. You showed that but then they're like, oh, your ties to Canada are stronger than your ties to Nigeria, and you're like,
just coming for the first time.
Or they say your travel history is not good enough, or something like that, and you're just like,
they have so
what
many,
exactly?
You know, a lot of these they are mostly subjective judgments, because you can have two people with the exact same situation go there and do the same thing, and they'll get it. And I'll give you an example. Two sisters that I know. The first one went there, and the same document. I mean, they had not the same jobs, but I mean, the jobs were paying like similar wages. So the first one went there, she got a visa. The second one went there, she didn't get a visa. Now, the reason being, the first one, when she got there, did her thing, showed them everything, and they're like, "Oh, what are you going there for?" She spoke, told them what she was going there for, and then because she was going to do some see some friends, and then she just happened to mention that, you know, she's going to do some wedding shopping because her fiance is they're about to get married. She got her visa. The second one, and the funny thing is, so the second one did the same thing, went there, whole blah 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 blah. She's also, and this was like months removed. Do the same thing. She also wants to do some wedding shopping and that. She was denied. Now, the thing is, the one who said the first one who said she was going to do wedding shopping was not really going to do wedding shopping. She just, I think it was just like a spur of the moment thing. She just came out and just said so. And now the other one, who was the second one, actually was planning to go do wedding shopping, and so she was denied. So now, and these were like months removed. So the crazy thing is, when you look at it that way, and if you're even saying, okay, they are tying it to the sisters, the one that went first, she actually came back. It's not like she went there and overstayed. She went there and came back. So because sometimes what they also look at family history. So if you've had a relative who's gone there and, you know, not returned, it counts against you, or overstayed their visa, it counts against you. So when I put that together, I'm thinking, okay, what the heck's going on here? You know, like, these people are similar. They are single women with fiancés, and they got jobs, this and that and that. And, you know, all they just want to do is just go on holidays and come back. And one gets it, the other one doesn't get it. So it was just crazy.
Maybe they just need to pray, you know.
Yeah.
No, that was a
so, yeah.
quite good. But yeah, I never really traveled on a Nigerian passport. I only put on my Nigerian passport. I came to Canada, I came to America, and that was it. And then God made a way. But I actually noticed something when I went to Nigeria with my American passport. I didn't have to stand in line. Nigerians going back to Nigeria had a longer line than we did. I literally was bam, 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 and out. The Nigerian queue with Nigerian passport had like a U, like a zigzag, literally, of them trying to get back into their country. So even if the country itself doesn't respect her people, why should other people?
I think what explains that you actually have more people, more Nigerians coming back to Nigeria than probably you have foreigners coming into Nigeria, because I know how that line works. Like when you land, there's a Nigerian queue. The other queue is like shorter.
Yeah.
So you just like go there, and if you don't have too many Nigerians, and don't forget, most of the Nigerians who are also coming back also have foreign passports, but they tend to come in with a Nigerian passport. So they go. So if you had a Nigerian passport, for instance, without a visa, you'd have to go to that Nigerian site. So you have more people there than you have people on this other side. So I think that also contributes to it.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about international travel. Let's talk a little bit more, because when people say travel, they always think about, oh, you get on the flight and leaving the country or going to a different place, right? But what about local travels, even within Nigeria or within the States or whatever country you're in, right? As a Nigerian living in Nigeria, I got to do like the southern part of Nigeria, a little bit of the north central. I didn't make it down to people's area. I promised to go there at some point.
Of all the places in the world, we're right along the coast. So I feel offended, but that's okay.
I never down there. I don't know how, but it's actually on one of my list of things to do to explore when I go back to Nigeria. Just explore the East, more especially the food, for sure, the culture.
I'm going in December, so if you want to come.
Oh, you are? Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Will you pick my flights?
Yeah, sure. We'll fly on Broom. We'll use Broom.
Go fund me.
By the
Yeah,
way, we need to talk about some airlines because there's some airlines that you should.
Airpiece has my money. Airpiece has my. Okay, so I went to Nigeria in 2017. I was supposed to go to Calabar actually, just to start my journey from there. Airpiece said we know they go. I say you say it said cloud day we know they go. That's how they have my money. And then they said, oh, refund, no refund. That they'll give me a credit that I can come back within the next year. I was like, I don't live here. Like, why? So Airpiece, if you have my money, I'll take it now. Thank you. Yeah. So what places have you enjoyed traveling to locally within Nigeria or maybe in a different country?
I think in Nigeria, I've been to, apart from Sokoto and Kebbi, I think I've been everywhere else. Maybe, yeah. Sokoto, maybe
You know
Zamfara.
what?
Yeah, so.
What is
So, yeah, but I think what I enjoyed the most was Meduguri. That was
Hollywood
pre.
is beautiful.
I've
Yeah,
been to Medjugorje, by the way,
oh
too.
my goodness,
Yeah.
Meduguri is
The food
just
basket
lovely. Oh my, no,
combination.
that's Benue.
No,
That's
that's
Benue.
Benue.
Macaroni.
Basket.
No, that's
Makoy,
Benue.
that's Benue.
Benue. Oh, okay. I've been to Macaroni.
Meduguri is
Benue.
like all the way
North.
northeast.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
been there.
I think it's like a couple hours
Mm.
from Cameroon, they said, I
No,
think.
no,
No,
Chad.
no, no.
Cameroon is down
Chad.
here. That's Chad, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, like Meduguri was lovely,
Mm.
and somehow, in fact, I don't know. It was just. I mean, it's unfortunate that now
No,
it's
yeah.
hard to go. And part of what I enjoyed about Meduguri at the time was the fact that because I didn't fly there, was a road trip because I went from Port Harcourt to. I was there twice. First one Port Harcourt to Jos, and then Jos to Meduguri, and the second one was Port Harcourt to Bauchi, then Bauchi to Meduguri. Now that road trip between those two, Jos Bauchi, to me, it's about a 6 hour road trip, and my word, like the
The
scenery is,
scenery, yeah.
oh my goodness. So it is. I mean, unfortunately, one can't travel that way anymore because of terrorists. But goodness me, I love that whole journey of just being able to look at and see that wide expanse of land just going on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then Meduguri itself was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely amazing. And the weather, I mean, like when it's hot, it's steaming hot. When it's cold, oh my goodness, it's like winter without the snow.
Winter, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
When I went, like there was something about the hair that was just fresh. It was very different. Like I always tell people like people always, oh, Lagos. Yes, Lagos is the place to be, right? But if you really want to see the culture of Nigeria, if you want to see like the little nuances of what it is to be in Nigeria, like go to those villages, go to the other places that are not necessarily the bubbling places. But yeah, Maiduguri is beautiful. Borno, Kano for me for sure. Kano as well. Kano
Yeah, I really want to get a Kano.
Kano is. I think it was the first time in my life I saw like a wave of like men and women and just like going in the same direction, but like also separated by gender,
Yeah,
but still together, still flowing in its own. It's weird, but it's really beautiful. Like, yeah, Kano for sure. And the gold on a regular ass human being walking on the streets of Kano, like really the money that people are done their hands and their faces, and like when those alaja move like their hijab, I'm like, see, hold on. And it's just, oh my god, it's something else. But yeah, I really love the northern part of Nigeria. I hope peace comes back to.
Yeah, I
Sure,
mean, it's gonna be hard, but yes, I mean, just like Katsina, you go to Katsina, and Katsina is just, again, you have that whole traditional thing about the city, and some small spots like some little quirky things.
Yeah.
Like you can't drink beer within the city wall, but when you go outside the Kofa, you have these little places where you can go and you can have your alcohol as much as like that. And the funny thing, which is what I find crazy, is that even outside of those city walls, you don't just go and like order the beer, like where you have it open. So you have to order the beer, and they have to go to the back and get it for you, and then pour it inside something. So I just find it very interesting. Like, because I had my youth service there, so and even within the Kofa, because there was the room I stayed in while I was there during my youth service, and the lady next door used to sell alcohol. Now, and it was so interesting because you'd have to buy it from her, take it to your room and drink it. Now, in the evening, we had these guys who would come in with their kettles, that kettle they carry.
Yeah.
And they would buy the beer and then she would pour it in there for them. And then they would
And
take
then you
it
just
back,
carry like it was the
take it back
side.
I'm telling you.
That is
I found that really, really very interesting, very remarkable. Yeah, but you also need to go to those to Abeokuta, where you have
yeah.
those rocks.
Have you ever seen, like, if you actually look at the rock, it looks like a sleeping pregnant woman. It is. I never thought about it until I went back and like I took a picture of it. And I was like scrolling through on my way back to the state, like looking at my pictures, like this thing looks like a pregnant sleeping woman. And I Googled it and it was actually right. Like it does look like a pregnant sleeping woman. It's crazy, but it is beautiful. Idonre Hills.
Oh,
that's
I've been there,
okay.
But,
Idonre Hills. If you love hiking, when we went up and down, because of course it's me, I carried my entire family. And they could not be lazy because I don't send you. So we went all the way to the top. But like I was a runner. That I like to use the running word loosely, not because I'm not running forever. But by the time I went, I was like really healthy and really strong. But like my thighs were on fire. Like it was really beautiful. If you like waterfalls, for sure. Emijesha waterfalls in Osun State, I like to believe. It mixes both waterfall and hiking together. They're like 7 layers of different shapes of waterfalls. Gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous.
You should also try the Agbokum waterfalls in Cross River.
That's on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
See, the funny thing is, you guys are mentioning all these things, and me, I cannot relate. But
because I don't see any beer, like... and it's not my life.
But I can say this: it's only 2 places I've been to in Nigeria. Which number one was Makurdi.
Lagos Airport.
Or Maiduguri. Makurdi.
It's Makurdi.
Yes, Makurdi. Mm-hmm. So, and that one I was there with my high school people because we were playing all Air Force schools games because I went to Air Force military school. Mm-hmm. So we were playing this. So the drive there was nice, beautiful. We drove all the way from Eket to Uyo to Makurdi, which was nice. And then the second time I really, really traveled around Nigeria was when I went to Enugu to go and write Nigerian actually test for Nigerian university in Nsukka because I got into the law school there before I moved to Canada, and I was like, no. So like I went to go and write that, and that experience was traumatizing for me because our bus broke down on the road. We had to come down and we had to fix, and then the potholes, the heat. The only fascinating thing about that trip was just the red sand, the red earth.
Oh yeah. Well,
I really
you hadn't moved abroad at the time. How could that be traumatizing for you?
Like we grew up really, really guarded. Like that is why
I don't understand.
That is why I am living my best life now, because all the things I never got to do, like even to visit Lagos. The only time I visited Lagos was when I was about to travel out of the country.
Jeez.
That was the first time. I've always been in my state, or I'm like in a neighboring state.
Protected kids.
And the funny thing is, my dad has actually traveled a lot. He's been to so many places. He's worked all over the world. But my dad is that traditional person that does not, I feel like he low-key doesn't like flying or he doesn't like traveling like that. So he just kind of like, just didn't even say anything to us about it. But when I told him, I was going to Canada, he was like, oh, Canada, I've been to Canada. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. And I went to Canada, and that's just how it happened. But it's just something that he did not go out of his way to, because he's not the traveling type. So all the opportunities that he had to work in Houston, to go and start a life and with family, he just didn't take it because he's a homebody. He's just likes, and he just wanted us to be the same way. And I was like, nope. And that's why I am forced to like really, really travel, because I didn't get to travel.
I'll go to South America and spend 2 months.
Yes. Yes.
By the
Okay,
way,
there is
if you do
something.
get to okay,
No, no,
if
you
you
go
do
ahead, go
get
ahead.
to Enugu or Anambra, find and go to the Ubunike caves. Like those caves are crazy. Now you start somewhere at the back. I don't know where the back or the bottom, and then you make your way into the cave. And now you need a guide. And you know, and there are some places where it gets really dark, so you have to like put your hands on the next person's back and go, because if you miss it, you can get lost in those caves. So
Ah.
they tell you when it gets dark, don't leave the other person. So what you have the guide in front and then a guide at the back. So and they tell you when you get to those dark places, make sure you're touching the person in front of you, because that
Yeah.
person, the next person who's touching the guide in front. So now by the time you now get in and navigate all that, and then you now go to now find like there's an open space within the cave that has like a mini waterfall and like a little lake or something, and it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I've never been
Completely.
there.
Oh my goodness! Like I went there, and you know there are some things that you just think and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So you get in there and you just see it's almost like in a different world. You know how you walk into like a cave and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to come out on the other side, but you just go and then all of a sudden it's just like wide open space.
Right.
You see trees, you see the water falling down there, you see this little lake, and you're thinking, how the heck did this get here?
Huh. That is so crazy. Now I feel like
Oh,
I'm gonna go put that place on my list when I go. George, when we go to Nigeria, we have to go
Oh
December.
yeah. I I am going
I
all
can see
in
you making
because
your list down there.
oh,
yeah.
I have the Ogbodike caves on my list. Yeah. And
Mhm.
Okay.
especially like even something as simple as like the rock in Abuja.
You've
Like
never
I've
Zuma.
never been to Abuja. Oh, like my
Let's go.
Nigerian travel experience is
When's your green passport again? You don't need it. I mean, I don't need it either, but yeah. Hold it, don't worry. I don't want. So there's something you actually mentioned, right? So people always think, oh, because you love to travel, it means you enjoy flying.
yes. When the plane takes off, before the plane takes off, while we're doing all that gra,
Yeah.
I just close my eyes. I say a prayer or two because Lord knows I hate flying. That's the worst part of traveling for me. And that's why I always try not to sleep too much before I fly so I can just sleep on the plane. And I'm good at sleeping on the plane. But yeah, that's one of the scariest part of flying. And then when you watch the news and you hear about all these plane crashes and stuff, and then people say, oh yeah, flying is like safer than actually driving on the road. I'm like, at least when you're on the road, you're on the ground.
You
You are
can
able
see.
to jump out of that car when it's about to. I've watched too many action movies. That's why I'm saying that.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just like flying. You're up there. Well, if shit hits the fan, it's like they're just picking up your parts, and I'm like, yeah, it's scary for me. I feel like it's scary for me, but I still do it just because if I don't do it, I'm not going to go anywhere. Yeah.
Colin, do you like
Yeah,
flying?
no, no, well, look, I love flying, but the thing with me is that what I try and do is because flying makes me sit in one place for too long, and I'm a very restless person. So there are two things I do, and it's not about. I mean, look, I get scared sometimes when you plane, and I'm like, okay, God, please just take me from point A to point B. So the thing is,
Oh my
once
God, hold on. Let me share
that,
the screen with
yeah,
George.
that's the Bunike Caves.
Oh my goodness.
You see how lovely it is.
Yeah. Here you go,
Oh, I've
George.
seen. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm looking at it.
I'm already sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Okay. No, this is
We're going. It's on our list.
so it's some places you see and you're like, this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, this is nice. This is nice.
Mhm.
Good.
So, like when I went there, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm never forgetting this place ever." So I plan to go there again. Anyway, so like I was saying, just that whole travel thing. So what I do, there are two ways I deal with it. If it's maybe a 6 or 7 hour flight, I can say okay, I can watch the on-screen entertainment, sleep for a couple of hours, and then maybe do a bit of work. But if it gets to a flight that takes maybe like, for instance, if I'm flying direct Delta, um, Atlanta to Lagos, which is about
Lagos.
12 hours. So what I do is the night before I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I just do stuff, and I work, watch movies, do whatever, but I don't sleep the night before. So once I get on the airplane, once it takes off, I read a bit, watch a couple of movies, but I know that the watching that movie is just sort of like is to get me into sleep mode. So, and once the sleep comes, I don't fight it. I just go. And I just completely go. So I know that by next time I wake up, I might have like maybe 3 hours to go. I can use that and watch maybe one more movie or what, and then I'm down. So the plane journey for me is not like I don't is about the destination, but if it's on the road, then yeah, road I can actually open my eyes and look at stuff and kind of admire the scenery. But airplanes, I just want to sleep.
Well, I think for me, when I was going to Nigeria, my friend actually told me not to sleep the night before, so I didn't sleep. I was literally packing the night that I was going to go. And then the afternoon, I took a shower. I ate eba. Like I literally like ate a huge plate of eba. Got on the plane from Minneapolis to Atlanta, and then I took sleeping pill in Atlanta. No, I think it was actually before I got on the flight from Minneapolis to Atlanta. I took sleeping pill, so that was like I was getting myself ready. I passed through, checked in and everything. As soon as I got on that flight from Atlanta to Nigeria, I'm not sure I heard all the welcome something when I knocked out. Like literally, I was out for like hours, and then I woke up. I didn't even the movie I was watching. I didn't finish it before we landed. I was like, yes, this is the perfect way to travel. But I actually don't mind traveling. I don't mind flying at all. I think the thing that gets me was before I had TSA. You know, the having to cross the line and clear, then sit and wait. But now I have my global entrance. It's like
global entry, yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's
That
just
global
like,
entry, that thing just look, it makes my life so much
lifesaver,
easier. Yeah, because
so,
the thing is, like, what I tell people is, if you're not a regular traveler, don't do it.
Don't do it, yeah.
If you're a regular traveler, oh my goodness, it saves you. Because I mean, like this last time, I mean, first of all, like that time I came just before the COVID thing, you see all those crowds that were at the airport that time. I didn't meet the worst of it, but when I came in, it was there. So all I did was just walk to the kiosk, check myself in, and inside.
Keep going. Yeah.
Same thing when I was coming. So each time you have that long queue of people, all you have to do is just go to your kiosk, check yourself in, and
you're good to go. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what global entry is, it's something that they do like your background check, and you can literally check yourself out in and out of airports and just go. And it also comes with TSA, so which means like you beat all those lines. It's time saving. I enjoy it. So on your paper, you're going to answer this question if you are a budget traveler or you are a flex when it comes to traveling, and then we'll say as soon as we all write it out. Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, go. Oh, me too. George?
Budget.
Okay. All right. I'm both, just because I like the good things of life, but I also like to I also like to plan, be responsible. Why did you go budget, George?
I go budget because actually I think I'm lying, but wait, what were the options again? What was it? Is it
just budget or flex? Like you don't think about the money.
Okay. So before I travel, I usually have an idea of how much I intend to spend. And when I do travel, I try to offset that amount based on, I don't go shopping and like that. I don't like do like, I eat breakfast and dinner only.
Okay.
And then what I've realized is that a lot of my money gets to go on drinking and nightlife. so in as much as I try to, I end up spending it one way or the other. So I might be flexing and saving a hotel, but I am spending at the bar, drinking every night, which adds up. So I try, but I just find myself to be over budget all the time.
Okay. Colin?
Okay, so what happens is, and I think in some ways, and for me is, I'm lucky that sometimes most of my trips are paid for, because they are work trips. So
wait, hold on. God, this is where I need that word. You know, I can be a travel model too. I have to say. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's work. So when it's work, you tend to get that level of travel. But when it's me, I try to make sure that I go on a budget, so that I don't overextend. So, for instance, like when I was in Russia in 2018, that was for the World Cup. We had like 5-star hotels, this, that, did all the thing, flying from here to there to different venues, and just generally because the hotels are booked from HQ. So they book it well ahead of time. All you have to do is just go there and check in, and you have all of the 5-star treatment. So, but other times, when it's maybe personal and I don't want to spend too much, the funny thing is you can actually get flex treatment on a budget.
Yeah, true.
Depending on if you know how and where, and the little shortcuts and things. Like when I was in Cape Town was personal more or less, but I got to stay in a good place, and I got to do Table Mountain, and because I had friends there who knew all the ins and outs, so we had it was fun on a budget, but it was a flex. It was flex on a budget.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we're rounding up here. Two more questions before you go. Are you a team learn the language before you go, or team Google Translate? Google Translate.
Yeah, I just do basics. Hello, good morning, thank you. I want beer. I want food. That's about it. And yeah, Google Translate.
Okay, so what I've done is if I'm going to be there for a while, I try to learn a bit of the language. So I have Duolingo for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been using Duolingo almost since the app first came out. How many years ago? So when I have to be somewhere, like when I was going to Brazil, and I was going to be in Brazil for 8 weeks. So I had to pick up a few things. So I spent a couple of weeks on Duolingo, and I could speak passable Portuguese.
Oh.
I can barely speak a word anymore. So
well, you got it for when you needed it, so that's always
good.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but if I'm only going to be there maybe a week or two or whatever, I don't really mind. Google Translate does. Yeah. I mean, when I was in China, Duolingo didn't help for China.
No, not at all.
There was no point. So what I did was Google Translate and say something, and even though it wasn't coming out quite the way it should, but we got there eventually. So we had, at least we could understand each other a little bit. And then luckily, I ran into some friends, some Chinese translators who were volunteers back then. So a couple of young ladies, I think they were I was just fresh out of high school. No. So they shadowed me throughout and showed me a lot of places, and then helped me with translation. So I was lucky, and that helped.
Oh, so greatest or bougiest story for me is going to be I went to Paris for lunch, and that was it. I know.
Okay, we need to hear the story of that.
Well, another time we have to round up this episode. But yeah, I did go to Paris for one day. I had lunch on the river, and that's my bougie story. What about you guys?
Mine would be going to Zurich and staying in one of the most aristocratic hotels. I mean, when I walked in there, and the funny thing was, and it's funny because the funny thing was when I walked in there, they were stunned because first of all, I'm not used to sort of overdressing and stuff. I'm a very casual dresser. So I walked in there, and the funny thing is I came in like a limo because I was going for so I got picked up at the airport with a FIFA limo, and I got there, and you know how the person's coming to open the limo, and you don't know what they're expecting to see. Yeah. So I step out of the limo, and the guy is, at least for a quick second, he's taken aback, probably looking to see if there's somebody else in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot the name of the hotel, but it's one of the most aristocratic and oldest hotels in Zurich, and it's freaking expensive.
Oh wow, I should get that. I'll put it on my list because I know I'll go there someday. George?
I feel like hotels, yeah. I mean, going into a city for a day and just having food, that's one. But but I feel like my bougie story is, I would say, being upgraded to first class, just because I complain about something and it's just like, okay, we have space. And I was like, yeah, sure. At that point, I was like, I just humbled myself, carried my things. So I was like, see you guys, incredibly people.
Never. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Until next time, I'll see you on another episode here and there.
I feel like we definitely need part 2 of this because
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Because you hear that
there
story,
is a
you hear
lot.
that lunch
Yes,
story,
I do.
that story of lunch story.
Well,
Yes.
we'll record a continuation part. I think we'll start with hierarchy of passports on the next episode. But yeah, this has been fun. I'll let you guys go and do your thing.
No problem. It was nice meeting you, Colin, and
you,
for
George.
sure, anytime.
Keep in touch. Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what your travel experience has been and what passport you hold, so that way we can judge you or we can just share in the joy of your travel experiences. If you were not following us on social media yet, come on, follow us at Sense&Rants, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And of course, until next time, until we bring you the part 2 of this travel episode, whatever it is you want to do, whoever it is you want to become, all you have to do is start. Bye, y'all.